What a great way to end the movie, right? Sonic the Hedgehog 3, without a doubt, is one of the best animated releases of this year. Along with Inside Out 2, it has really given us the perspective of how alive and lively the animated industry still is and the numbers that it can reach. And of course, being such a great animated movie, it couldn't be great without a great ending. And of course, the Sonic movie 3 has the perfect ending, showing us none other than the one and only Amy Rose. Amy Rose has been a character that we theorized that could be in the Sonic movie 3, but finally, it is in the Sonic movie 3, but in the ending of it, really showing us that it's going to be one of the main characters of the Sonic movie 4. But how is she going to be? How does she meet Sonic? And most importantly, recently there was a leak about Amy Rose's fate in the Sonic movie 4 against who we know is going to be the villain, Metal Sonic. Is Amy Rose going to be eliminated and die in the Sonic movie 4? Well, that's exactly what we're going to see here, so stay tuned. With over $350 million in the box office already, the Sonic movie 3 is without a doubt one of the best releases of this year. And it still has a long way to go, and it's not really hard to see why. It is a movie that has characters that we've been waiting for ever since the first one was released, let alone the second one. Because when we saw the first animated movie of Sonic the Hedgehog, we saw that it was great. But it still lacked a lot of the characters in the Sonic universe that we wanted to see since the beginning. And of course, the Sonic movie 1 being the first movie, as an introduction, it couldn't include a lot of the characters that we wanted to see. And then in the second movie, we saw Tails and Knuckles, and now finally we have the best character yet, and that is Shadow the Hedgehog coming in to destroy everything that Sonic has ever built. A threat that is something like none other than Sonic has ever encountered, because he was created with the sole purpose of destruction by none other, of course, than Gerald Robotnik, Dr. Eggman's grandfather, in a laboratory as being part of the Project Shadow experiment, mandated and financed by the GUN agency. As such, along with the negativity and rage that he has inside him because of what happened to Maria's Robotnik at the hands of the GUN agents, and him blaming humanity for it, he becomes the most resilient and powerful villain for Sonic to have ever encountered. And this, of course, gives us the best battles in the movie. But as we see that Amy Rose shows up at the ending of the Sonic movie 3, right when he's being approached by an army of Metal Sonics, the role of Amy Rose is still in question for the Sonic movie 4, but we definitely have some clues of her role and even her fate, as it was leaked in a video scene a couple of days ago, and it shows us that Amy Rose might die in the Sonic movie 4, and that's exactly what we're going to be seeing here today, guys. I'm going to be showing you the fate of Amy Rose in the Sonic movie 3, and how she's really going to end up meeting that fate by protecting Sonic the Hedgehog. But let's remember that this is still in the beginnings, as the Sonic movie 4 is still worked on by the directors and the writers, and it could change. But without further ado, guys, let's get right into it. So as we talked about before, the main surprise when it comes to the main characters of the Sonic movie 4 comes up at the ending of the Sonic movie 3, and it's Amy Rose coming to save Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, Amy Rose is an interesting character in the Sonic universe, and her story and appearance in the Sonic movie 4 is probably gonna lead the plot of this movie. And this is why Amy Rose first comes up in the Sonic games in Sonic CD. This was one of the games that was released of Sonic back in 1993, and it's in this game, Sonic the Hedgehog CD, that we first see Amy Rose and the reason why she comes up in the Sonic universe in the first place. And that is mainly because Amy Rose appears as a character who is deeply in love with Sonic without even meeting him at first, because she dreams about a hedgehog, a blue one, that is gonna come basically like a king and save her from the mysterious and definitely evil Metal Sonics. And in the dream itself, she sees that she will meet him on a small satellite known as Little Planet, and in this place she will love the guy forever. And she travels to Little Planet after this in hopes of meeting this person, and who does she find there? Yes, she finds none other than Sonic the Hedgehog, and instantly loves him and starts hugging him. But Sonic doesn't respond quite well to these things, because he really doesn't feel that affection as much as she feels towards him. But it is in Collision Chaos, however, where Amy Rose is stolen by Metal Sonic, Dr. Eggman's latest creation, and in his plans is to steal this person because he knows that Sonic will go straight for her to save her, and in this way he will be able to trap Sonic and get his powers, which is his ultimate goal. But of course, that's not what happens at all. And after Amy gets tied up in Stardust Speedway, Sonic goes to save her and has a little bit of a battle with Metal Sonic, which we play in Sonic CD, and is one of the hardest levels of the entire game, that's for sure. And after this, Sonic then defeats Eggman, which is another game that is the hardest level of the entire Sonic the Hedgehog CD game. And when you win, you carry Amy safely back to Earth with Sonic, and that's where the relationship between these two starts. And from this point onwards, every single Sonic game released by Sega included Amy Rose as a side character for Sonic, with her most notable appearances in the Sonic games being Sonic Drift in 1994 and Sonic Drift 2 in 1995, where she joins the cast of racers, further establishing her as a recurring character in the Sonic games. Then we see her in Sonic Adventure, and this is really important because it is here where she becomes a playable character for the first time. Here in this game, she's portrayed as a more independent character with her own storyline and a gameplay centered around evading Zero, a robot sent to capture her. And it is also in this game where Amy befriends a bird holding one of the Chaos Emeralds, which may well be an important character in the Sonic movie 4, because it really opens the door for Amy as being one of the main characters that would have to sacrifice herself for the Chaos Emeralds, as we're gonna see later in the video. Sonic Adventure 2, released in 2001, was another game where Amy appeared. Sonic Heroes, Sonic Riders, Sonic the Hedgehog 2006, all of these games had Amy Rose in them and often associated with her signature weapon, the Pico Pico Hammer, which is exactly the hammer that we see at the ending credits of the Sonic movie 3, when she comes to help Sonic when he's surrounded by the Metal Sonics. A lot of people underestimate the powers of Amy Rose, but with the Pico Pico Hammer, she is incredibly strong, and she uses the hammer for both combat and puzzle-solving elements in the games. But now that we have a little bit more background about what Amy Rose's role is going to be in the Sonic movie 4, let's talk about the leaked death scene of Amy Rose in the Sonic movie 4. As per the leak of a famous worker that claims to have worked in the Sonic movie 3 and said many things that actually ended up happening, that goes by the name of Mark Lawrence DB, said that this would be the ending of the Sonic movie 4 and the fate of Amy Rose. And it goes like this: as Dr. Robotnik returns with an even more dangerous plan, he discovers an ancient artifact known as the Eclipse Crystal. This relic has the power to control time and space, but at the cost of devastating energy surges. Robotnik plans to harness this energy to rewrite reality and finally defeat Sonic and his friends once and for all. Amy Rose, a determined and compassionate ally, joins Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. However, the stakes are higher than ever, as the misuse of the Eclipse Crystal threatens to destroy the entire fabric of the universe. And he divides the plot of this ending in 3 parts: the key moment where Amy sacrifices herself, and then we have the unfolding of the storyline, where the team confronts Robotnik in the heart of the floating fortress, powered by the unstable Eclipse Crystal. During the battle, the crystal becomes dangerously unstable, creating a massive rift in space-time that threatens to engulf the world. Amy then discovers that the only way to stabilize the crystal is by using a fragment of her own life energy, an irreversible act that will cost her her life. Despite this, Sonic and the others pleading to her to not do it this way, Amy insists on doing what's necessary to save Earth, just like Shadow did at the ending of Sonic 3. In an emotional moment, Amy channels her energy into the crystal, stabilizing it just enough to give Sonic the chance to destroy Robotnik's machine and the Metal Sonic's army. As she fades away, she tells Sonic to keep fighting for what's right and never give up on the world. The team manages to defeat Robotnik, and they are left mourning the loss of their dear friend. Amy's sacrifice becomes a turning point for Sonic and his friends, inspiring them to protect the world with an even greater determination in a bittersweet ending. This plot sounds incredibly likely for the Sonic movie 4, and honestly, it looks absolutely amazing. What do you think, guys?